My name is Todd Hilton. I'm an independent video producer and the founder of Nowhere Video Productions, a small production group with big dreams. From 1996 until 2005, I produced a travel series on public access television called Nowhere Video's Road Trips. I created the series with Mr. Dan Bradley, a very imaginative and funny guy, and also one of my best friends. The whole series was co-hosted by Dan and myself, along with our friends. Those 9 years were some of the best years of my life. Since Dan and I were kids, we loved to explore and see new places. When we got older, we would drive roads just to see where they went. Dan, my friend, and my brother passed away in 2011 at the young age of 37. It hit me really hard, and taking a road trip without him will never be the same. I've decided to make a video journal on the rare occasions I'm able to take a road trip. In August of 2015, my family and I got the amazing opportunity to travel to Florida and experience Universal Studios. This also meant a 2-night stay in Georgia, as that was the halfway point of the trip. While in Florida, I would also be able to visit one of my childhood friends, Mr. Fred Wendland, who I hadn't seen in 30 years. In many ways, this was the ultimate road trip, something Dan and I had always dreamed of. This was the first time any of our recorded trips had lasted more than one day, and I know Dan would have loved it. So finally, we had made it to Universal Studios. Had to get a shot of the giant welcome sign. I mean, this feels like you're passing through customs or crossing over the border into another country or something like that. This place is enormous. I can't even explain it enough. This place should have its own zip code. After we finally got through all the lines and were able to set foot at Universal Studios, it was mind-blowing just how big this place was. You can barely see us, just beginning to make our way through the crowd here, and this is passing under the first sign of Universal Studios. And you go into this place, and it feels like you're stepping onto a movie set, or you just landed on an island or something. I mean, there's just so many different ways I can describe it. But this really was a dream come true for us. This vacation here, we had to save up for this thing, because this trip in total, just for Universal Studios, ended up costing us a few $1,000s. I've actually forgotten exactly how much it cost just for us to get in, but it was a lot. So we had to save for this, and we spent 2 days, 2 separate days exploring Universal Studios, and we still didn't see it all. This place is just absolutely massive. If you're ever going to visit Universal Studios, whether that be Orlando or Hollywood, you got to plan for this thing, because you're just not going to see it all in one day. And as we've passed through several little tunnels and bridges, and here it says the adventure begins. Oh boy, let me tell you, they are not exaggerating. Once you pass this point, I mean, it's just a matter of, wow, which way do you go? Where do you start? You literally have to make it up as you go. And really, since we'd never been here, we had to make it up as we went. So we started out in Dr. Seuss land. Seuss Landing? Seuss's Land? I don't know. It's Dr. Seuss. So starting with the kiddie stuff here, and it's really cool how they made all the buildings and the props and the replicas of like the creatures from the Dr. Seuss world. The attention to detail was really amazing, and they really made the place for kids. I think they really made the Dr. Seuss world come alive. It's not something like I have ever seen before. We got to ride some of the rides, and we spent quite a bit of time there.
Do it, Maya. Ah! What's going on? What's going on? Ah! Charity. What? What? I don't know.
They don't want to? Too crowded? Yeah.
Moving on as we traveled through Universal Studios, I don't know exactly what you'd call certain areas, but it's like I said, it's like you're walking through a movie set or something from mythical times, things that are just from legendary worlds, different things. The backgrounds were just amazing. I couldn't stop looking at these things, these mountains and these temples, all these things created to look like they were ancient. And you see the remains of what looks like a giant foot. There's a giant hand. This is like King Neptune, you know, holding a spear. I mean, and these things are massive. It's hard to get the scale from the pictures here, but these structures are absolutely massive. And in one direction we're looking at that, in another direction, oh, you know, here's the wizarding world of Harry Potter. You know, that's a whole world in itself. You know, again, it's like, where do you start? Where do you go? We spent quite a bit of time in one of the sections of the wizarding world of Harry Potter. There's actually a couple different major sections. This was just one. You know, they've got the replica of Hogwarts here in the background, and again, you know, these structures are massive. You don't actually go inside these things, but just the fact that they're there, and you know, they're it's like they're built to scale, and it's indescribable. And you turn another direction, and here's Jurassic Park. Oh, we got to check that out. You know, so we go in there, and then they've got a shop in there with dinosaur skeletons. Not sure if these are real or if they're, you know, replicas. It's hard to say. But again, just the fact that they're there, you know, is just beyond cool. We ended up having our lunch in this building in the Jurassic Park land, and lots of water. I think we ended up refilling these same bottles of water like all day long, because the water there is ridiculous. It was like, I'm trying to remember, I think these bottles of water, no joke, were like $5 a piece for a bottle of water. And of course, you're gonna pay it because you need water. And if you go around to get like drink from a drinking fountain, the water is like warm. It's horrible, it's nasty. I think they do it on purpose so that you'll buy drinks. It's just a giant trap, folks. But yeah, we definitely took a whole bunch of photographs in this place, because again, it's like, I don't know if we'll ever see this place again. You know, never wanted to miss an opportunity. These backgrounds, again, massive and just amazing. The attention to detail. here in the Harry Potter land here, as I'm going to call it. This is one of them. They had more than one. We got to see live performances here, the dancers, and some of the kids got in on getting photos with these talented folks here who put on a great show. And again, it's all part of the experience. You didn't have to pay extra to see it. You just had to be there. And it's amazing. This is August when we took this trip, and they've got realistic looking snow covering the buildings. Obviously, it's not real snow, but it sure looks like it. Just part of the amazing movie magic that we experienced while we were here. And too much to go into major detail, but we did enjoy some pumpkin juice while we were there in the Harry Potter section. We're making our way back out, and this is a temple. This is actually a ride of some sort, and we got in line for this thing, and something happened. They had some sort of technical difficulties, and we were like almost there. And they said there was going to be an extended wait, and we decided to bail, so we missed out on this ride here. Don't even know what it was, but just being there in the backgrounds in that place was just too cool. I took a bunch of pictures of this. It looks like a fallen temple, and it was actually constructed this way. It looks ancient, even though it's not. Here's another view of the behind the temple, the other side of the temple, basically, as you're waiting in line. Here are these remnants of what looks like it was like a statue of King Neptune that had fallen. Just the replicas of these ruins were just amazing. Here is, I believe, is one of the entrances to get on the HOGWARTS train. There's two of them, one on each side of the park, and this is one of them.
Honestly wrong. They're just sweet. Are they real? Yeah. If it's magic.
You're gonna see the purple bugs.
We can't possibly be near a tree. He ate a bug. I'm gonna ride that too. The purple vest you don't ride, but it's there. You don't ride it? No. There's a guy that stands in front of it, like a show. Oh, you meet the night bus. Yeah.
And you take pictures by it. Look,
Alright.
watch it. It's gonna squeeze. Is that cool or what? We're here.
Hey, give us 1 second, guys, and we'll take a photo with you in just one moment.
It's her sister.
Oh, sister.
Is she?
Oh, so you're together?
Huh?
Is she in the picture?
Do you want to go in the picture?
Yeah, you want to come join the photograph? Come on, that's it. They're having a hard time with the mango cake. Alright. Oh, okay. Alright. Does that work in the noise anymore? Oh, okay. Alright. Oh, okay. Alright. I mean, you get it, me, and I still have it. That way. There you go. See? Yeah, okay. There it is. Compression.
Towards the end of the day, we started getting into the Simpsons land. Here was one of the rides, the Twirl and Hurl. Now, I don't remember if the kids rode this. It was basically like a tilt-a-whirl, but yeah, it was pretty funny. Again, wrapping up the end of the first day in Simpsons land. There's the Duff Brewery. That was pretty cool. Duff beer on the top there. And can't forget the Quickie Mart. Welcome to the Quickie Mart. So that was pretty much the end of day one. So now we're officially in day two of our time in Florida. And day one was so exhausting, we decided to split up our 2 days at Universal and just basically chill out at the resort that we were staying at. This is a view from outside some of the buildings there, and it really was paradise. This place was so above our pay grade, it wasn't even funny. You know, we knew we had to take advantage of this opportunity and spend time checking out this beautiful resort, and we really felt like royalty staying at this place. This is something this was like a once in a lifetime opportunity for us. Never knew if we were going to be able to do anything like this again. So we hung out at the pool, got wet, enjoyed ourselves. The kids got some spray-on tattoos, and just spent some time out in the sun, and it was great. Hey, buddy. Yeah? Are you splashing? Chris! Wow, Maya. What are you doing? Touching the floor?
No, I was doing a headstand.
Oh, you're doing a headstand?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it.
Chris, you like swimming? Swimming for buddy. Grass. Ta-da. Charity, what do you do?
I don't know what she's doing. I think she's trying to do a headstand.
Yeah?
Now I'm gonna show you a flip turn.
You got a flip?
It's harder though.
All right, let's see a flip.
It's hard. Okay, it's hard, Dad.
Okay.
I wanna do a flip.
Watch Maya. Up, over she goes.
Totally wrong.
That was totally wrong.
Yeah, I forgot to hold my breath.
Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of important. You want to try again? Trying again. That doesn't look like a flip. Hi, buddy. The water tastes horrible. Well, you're not supposed to drink it. Wow, Cherry.
Charity, no diving. Too shallow.
Charity, this isn't deep enough to jump into, okay? Huh?
I did a flip.
You did?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It was hard though.
What are you doing, Chris? Brass, no cannonballs. Brass. You wanna have Dustin catch you? Have Dustin catch you. Chris, have Dustin catch you. Come on. Then you can jump in if he catches you. Huh? There you go. Yay. Hi, Ma. Hi, Ma. What is that, a fall in? Maya, what is that, a fall in?
That's how Mom used to dive.
That's how Mom used to dive?
She taught me it.
Oh, okay. Hi, Cherry.
I'm gonna do it.
Cherry Berry. Oh, God.
You could hear that thing.
Yeah. I got it on video.
That's gonna hurt.
That's gonna hurt.
But first me, and then we'll do it.
What are we doing? More fish flopping?
Just like
Make sure no one's in the way.
I'm trying to do what they're doing.
Wow, Maya.
I'm trying to do what they're doing. Okay, Charlie. Can I try what they're doing?
I don't know, Chris.
But you have to do it from this one, not up here.
That's bad. Chris. All right, no more of that. Hey, Maya.
That was awesome.
Yeah?
It went so fast. Charity should come out in a moment. Oh,
Okay.
your towels are all dirty.
Huh?
Oh, this isn't your towel.
No. Oh, there's Charity.
I'm gonna go again.
Oh, she didn't come out as fast.
Charity! Hold on, buddy, don't touch it. Shark is big.
What do you think, buddy?
I don't want that.
That's to protect it until it's dry.
When you go to the pool, they'll come off. So yeah, we're not going. We're done. We're done with the pool.
Oh, okay.
The evening took a twist here. I finally met up with my childhood friend, Mr. Fred Wendland. I had not seen this guy, no joke, in 30 years. Him and I were friends as kids, and he'd made appearances in some of my older shows via some old VHS footage, and he had his own set of drums, and he played them back then, and now he does it professionally. So I gotta hand it to the guy. He has stayed with this like his entire life, and finally meeting up with him after 30 years, and the guy has not changed. He looks the same, he acts the same, he's the same guy he was when we were kids. It's pretty amazing. So he invited me to check out his live band that he was performing with, and I checked it out and got some pretty cool video footage.
These guys are working so hard for you all night long. I'm gonna hook you guys up with some free shots. We don't sing by ourselves, we don't party by ourselves, we don't dance by ourselves. We expect you to do that with us. You guys sing this ultimate party sing-along song with me, and I will hook everyone up in here with some free shots. How's that sound? But you know what we need to do? We need to take this to the next level. Hello, dance floor. You guys are amazing. Hello, party people on the tables. And back at the bar. You guys want some free shots back there too? If you're on the dance floor, you can sit right here with me. Grab any chair, whatever you want to do. I need to see everybody here stop on top of their chairs or on the dance floor. And you will get a free shot, but not on the table. They get mad at me when I do that. That's why. We don't have insurance here. Get it, Darren. You will get your free shot if you sing along to a little stop believing. You guys ready? I'll bring you in. Put those hands up. Tommy said, believe it. Hold on to the feeling. Street light. People. Everybody. Here we go. He said, don't stop believing. Hold on to the feeling. Street light. People.
our second full day at Universal Studios. We didn't take as many pictures as we did the first day. I feel like we were still recovering from the first day at Universal. It's just exhausting walking around this place. And really, to do it right, you have to get there when they open and stay until they close. It's literally a full day event to check this place out. And we spent 2 full days and we still didn't see it all. Well, this is how you know you've arrived. We're outside the Universal Studios globe, which is constantly spinning. Another amazing background for photos. Christopher being Christopher, hiding his face, typical stuff. So, again, we had a couple of family members who had annual memberships and kind of gave us the tour, showed us how to get into things and check things out. Also bringing us to and from the studio each day, and made for an amazing day. Again, here's one of the main entrances, and this is another one of those entrances where you feel like, wow, you're really there. This is it. This is the real deal. Going through this giant doorway, we decided to go in a different way because the park is actually split into 2 major sections. So we did one side one day, and now we're doing the other side. And our first mission of the day was to check out the Despicable Me Minion Mayhem ride. Now, this was a very popular ride. No joke, I think we waited in line like 2 hours to ride this ride. And this is why you have to get there when they open. The lines are just insane. And if you can fork out the money for a fast pass, you need to do that. Because we were constantly seeing people go past us, and it's like, how the heck are these people basically cutting in lines? Like, oh, well, they have a fast pass. So it means they have a shorter line, they get to go in faster, they get priority, yada yada. Oh, they're better than us, they have more money. That's basically how it felt. So yeah, we decided if we ever got to go to Universal again, we need to get a fast pass. This ride was really cool. I snapped a few pictures in there, and while you're waiting in line, you get to look at diagrams of the size of the minions' brains and stuff like that. I mean, it's really cool. They've actually paid a lot of attention to details and trying to make it tolerable for the folks standing in line. They've got fans and spray misting, because again, you're in Florida. It's mid 80s to low 90s, lots of humidity. It's hot. So they've tried to make it tolerable for the people waiting in line, because let's be realistic. You go to Universal Studios, that's what you're doing most of the time, is standing in line. They have a great kids section for little kids. Took some more goofy photos. A Charity in a giant cup. I don't even think that was a ride. I just think it was something that you could climb in. So I spent probably a good couple hours hanging out with Chris and Charity and letting them play in the giant playground. And I got to admit, this playground was really cool. I mean, look at this. You get to climb up a giant, dragon skeleton or whatever the heck this thing was. I mean, how cool is that? It's like if I was 30 years younger, I'd be all over this thing. So that was a lot of fun. I snapped a few pictures of this there, and they had some water sections, but we really weren't set up to go swimming or really get wet here. So there was only so much we could do. We had to pretty much stick to the dry stuff, and of course, no Universal trip is complete without checking out SpongeBob. This was pretty cool. They had a section on SpongeBob. Took quite a few photos. Got pictures with SpongeBob. This is like a must-do. You got to have your picture taken with SpongeBob. Seriously. And there's the pineapple. Inside this building, it's like a giant gift shop, and they had like different set pieces that you'd see in the show. You know, it's pretty cool when you see something that was animated and made into something that's tangible, real life. You know, see it, touch it. Get to ride on Gary. I mean, come on, how cool is that? Gary! And now we're into my section here. I about flipped out when I saw the train from Back to the Future Part 3. This is the original train. This is the real deal. Years ago, they had a much larger section dedicated to Back to the Future. But because it's been so long, you know, you only find a couple of things. But the fact that the train was here, that was big. To see this thing in real life is just, it's indescribable. You know, this is something that I've wanted to see for 30 years. You know, this is amazing. And of course, they had what I'm assuming was one of the original screen-used DeLoreans. You know, there's more than one out there. Now, they've got this thing kind of barricaded off. You can't get up next to it. You can't touch it, but you can walk around it. So obviously, I took lots of photos of this thing. You know, again, this is the real deal. You know, it's like, this is why I'm here. And I have arrived. So I took lots of pictures of the DeLorean, made sure I had my picture taken with it. You know, again, this is like once in a lifetime opportunity. I wasn't going to pass it up. And now, moving on to more Harry Potter stuff. This was pretty cool. This was the other train station. What the hell? All right.
That's cool. They had a piece of glass.
Yeah.
Man, it was a trick.
Just going through the station, and again, the attention to detail is just amazing. You know, they don't miss a beat here, and making our way to platform 9 3/4. You know, they've made a whole production out of this thing just to get to this platform and to make it look like people are walking through a brick wall. You know, it's all an illusion. But it's really well done. It's very clever. And of course, you know, pictures of the train, which I kind of discovered because I noticed these things. The train, as real as it looks, is not an actual train. It's a cable-operated train replica. Because if I noticed that the wheels don't actually rotate. It's another illusion. It sits on top of some other contraption that is cable operated, and they run this train back and forth between the two different Universal parks. That's why there's 2 train stations, but each one is a unique experience. And when you ride this train, you sit inside of a booth, and you basically watch. It's a movie, but it makes it look like you're going through the world of Harry Potter. The windows are basically screens, and you can see where you're going as if you're in the movie world, not in the real world. So it's a really cool experience. It's worth it just to ride the train, just to experience that. Here's a shot of the Hogwarts Express. Again, this is a train that goes back and forth between the 2 sections of the park. So not only is it an experience for Harry Potter fans, but it acts as a transit between the 2 sections of Universal Studios. So really, it's a win-win. It's a really great time writing this thing and experiencing that. Also, another major feature at Universal Studios is Transformers. I am a huge fan of Transformers and have been since I was a kid, and seeing live versions of Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, it was really cool, and the ride was amazing.
It is nice to meet you, Earthling.
That was the original. There's your plate. There's your stand right there.
That is the real work.
I took a few shots on the way home, various pictures, and when you're on a road trip, you never know what you're going to see. We saw this interesting little place that caught my eye enough that I wanted to pull over and check it out for a few minutes. So it's some kind of a museum dedicated to the presidents. You know, they have the Statue of Liberty sitting outside. Like, what the heck is this thing? So we got to see what this is. We didn't go inside, but we went in the parking lot. I think they were closed, but they had a replica of the statue of Abraham Lincoln sitting outside there, and what is supposed to look like the White House. It was the House of Presidents. It's like, well, this is kind of cool. You know, you never know what you're going to see on a road trip. So we stopped and looked at this. They had a miniature replica of Mount Rushmore there, and I'm assuming what's supposed to be one of the Cadillacs for one of the presidents there, and it's a giant scroll there. The President's Hall of Fame welcomes you. You gotta love the hands on the side of the scrolls. That's kind of silly there, but yeah, it was worth checking out. I said we didn't go inside or anything because it was closed, but we spent a good 10-15 minutes wandering around outside there and taking some pictures. We didn't intend on getting anything else on the way home, but it's a long drive home. There's Obama sitting there on the bench there, welcoming you to the President's Hall of Fame. Further on our way home, stopping off in Tennessee, stopped at a place called Point Park, which is pretty historic, had connections to the Civil War. This was really cool. This is another one of those, it was kind of an unplanned stop, but when you start seeing signs for something, and it's like, you know what, we're on vacation, let's check it out. Let's see what we got here. They had cannons there, and of course, any opportunity we could to take some photos, we definitely did that. It was a beautiful sunny day, and we're on our way home, trying to fight off any feelings of depression. That's one thing when you're coming back from vacation, and it's a little sad. You just had this amazing adventure, and now it's like back to reality. So there's definitely some feelings of sadness there. That the adventure is over. So we tried to make the best of it, checking out some of these cool sites on the way back. That was pretty much it. The rest of the drive home was fairly uneventful and pretty quiet. Again, took us another 2 days to get home. We'd stopped off at another hotel in Georgia and had a pretty short night there, and then drove the rest of the way back to Illinois. The rest of the drive home was uneventful and very long. It's hard to come home after an adventure like that. And at the time of this recording, this was the last big adventure we'd really had. So it's really great to look back on this trip and enjoy the memories. So that's going to do it. My name is Todd Hilton. I want to thank you for watching.